So what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another off-season episode on the Raider Critique, where we're going over, yes, this schedule, man. Everybody else has dropped their prediction videos. Everybody else has dropped their schedule release videos. And I figured that, hey, why not go ahead and do a schedule release video myself and pretty much do the prediction right here on this channel, because everybody's already been hearing me harp about, hey, what are we going to do? I don't think that we went and got all the right pieces in the draft, but we definitely filled some holes. And, well, what better way to share a Saturday episode than with every single one of you? Now, I want to salute everybody in the chat. I see two of my partners in here already, man. We got Robert Pena and Jack Kenna. Salute to the both of you. I hope everything's coming through. If you guys can let me know how everything's coming through when it comes vocally and through the background music, I would greatly appreciate it, because real talk, man, I don't know what's going on because I ain't got my person here, my better half, who I ended up marrying over last weekend on the 28th. So it was actually the weekend before that I went off and got married. But she doesn't happen to be here right now to be able to tell me on whether everything is coming through. So I would like to go over a few things, Raider Nation. I do appreciate everybody for stopping in to come and check out this video. And like I said, there's been a few others who have already done this, but I think it wouldn't be customary, and it wouldn't be anything without the Raider Critiques prediction on what's going on with this new schedule. Now, the schedule dropped. When I do these, I'm actually not even judging preseason. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm not judging preseason is because every time we end up going 4-0 or 3-0 in the preseason, we end up completely bombing during the regular season. So let's just hope that we don't win every game in the preseason to where it looks like that we at least got a fighting chance at the regular season. Man, hey, and thanks, Jack Kenna. Yo, hey, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Definitely. Gord, man, it's good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping in. And yes, this is the schedule prediction. Now, I'm curious if our records match up as well. Now, we've got Broncos week 1. We have the Buffalo Bills week 2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in week 3. The Chargers week 4. Week 5 is the Green Bay Packers. Week 6 is the New England Patriots. Week 7, Chicago Bears. The week 8 is the Detroit Lions. And I do believe that is week 9 is the Giants. 10 is the Jets. The 11th is the Dolphins. The 12th is the Chiefs. We have a bye week, week 13. And then we have week 14, the Minnesota Vikings. Week 15, again with the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 16 with the Queefs. Week 17 with the Colts. Rounding it out with week 18 against the Denver Docknuts. So, this is how I have it listed. And like I said, we're not going over preseason, because preseason really I could give two shits about. I just hope that we don't go undefeated in preseason, because that always never bodes well for these Raiders when we go 3-0 or 4-0 during the preseason. So week 1 against the Broncos. Now, we've been owning the Broncos for years to come and years past. For quite a while, I just feel like that we've been in the driver's seat. But I also feel like that they are going to be a little bit more prepared this year than they were last year. Now, depending on what our roster looks like, and, like I'm saying, with these predictions, I'm going over everything that's probably, that I'm predicting that's going to go over for this season. So you'll have to bear with me, because your numbers probably will not match mine. But in all actuality, I think that no matter what, with these Broncos, whether they're any good or not, for week 1, I still think that we're going to take it. And I think that we'll beat it just for the simple fact that I don't think the Broncos have our number. I think that they do have some pretty good pieces. They had an okay draft. I didn't really go over what they did with draft picks, but it really didn't look like that they moved mountains with anything that they had to do. It really looks like that they are just trying to do whatever they can because of that Russell Wilson contract on just trying to put pieces in their roster to make sure they fill some holes. So I don't think that they're going to beat us week 1. I think we'll take the W in that, and we'll move on to week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills, of course, we already know they are a very good team, and they're definitely not any slouches. They've been to the AFC Championship game, I believe, at least once in the last 2 years. They've been making the playoffs ever since they, started making their run. And, bro, I mean, to be honest with you, Buffalo's a really damn good team. I think we're going to go in there and we're probably going to go ahead and fall flat on our face against the Buffalo Bills, dropping to the Bills. I think we'll lose that game. And then I really do think that that's probably how it's going to end up, regardless of how good our team can play. I don't think our defense is going to be able to handle their high-powered offense. Well, then we move on to Pittsburgh. All right, Pittsburgh week 3. Pittsburgh really hasn't been all that great in years past. It looks like they're still trying to get things together. But they do have one thing that we do not have, and that's continuity in their front office. They had quite a few good draft picks they picked up this year, actually making some really good moves in the draft, at least that I thought, were really good moves in the draft. But man, I mean, come on, really? They don't really have much of anything over there when it comes offensively, especially with everything we've got going on offensively. I think that we can beat out the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether we're playing them at home. And if this is a home game for the Steelers, that bodes well for this Las Vegas Raiders team, for the simple fact that at least the weather is not going to come into play by week 3 of the season. So I believe that we'll take that game. You know what I mean? I think we'll take that game. Now we move on to the Chargers. Chargers happen to pick up a certain edge rusher that I wanted in the draft in Tui Tuipulotu. And, man, I really wanted that guy. Now, I don't believe they have Khalil Mack anymore, but they still do have Joey Bosa, and they still got that high-powered offense with Justin Herbert. And, they picked up a lot of key players in this draft as well. It looked like they actually drafted well. And that fucking makes me sick because I cannot stand talking good about the Los Angeles Chargers. If you know anything about me and you know how I feel about the Chargers are my most hated team. But, man, it's a toss-up because we always play well against the Chargers. The Chargers always play well against us. It's always been a huge rivalry game that is very competitive. But I think we're going to suffer an L in this game. And that hurts me to even say. But I think the Chargers are going to end up beating us at least through the first part of our first game of the year. But then we move on to Green Bay. And hopefully, it is, even with that being a Raider home game essentially, I still think the Chargers are probably going to wind up beating us that game. So we're going to move on to Green Bay. And Green Bay, of course, is going on without Aaron Rodgers. They're also going without their number 1 receiver in Lazard because Lazard also moved to the Jets. And we're playing, I believe, in Green Bay. So, with it being early in the year, I like that aspect of it because the weather may not come into play. But the weather has been up and down lately this year. I don't know. We've been receiving a lot more rain down here in Texas than we normally get this time of year. You know what I'm saying? But I say we're playing in Green Bay, and I think that loss on the Chargers, versus the Chargers, is going to set a fire up underneath this Raiders team's ass. And they're going to come out and they're going to beat Jordan Love and this Green Bay Packers team. To where we're going to move on to New England. To where we're going to ride on the momentum that we got against the Green Bay Packers And we're going to go up against Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler's and Jakobi Meyers and even Jimmy Garoppolo and Chandler Jones's all former team in the New England Patriots. A lot of people actually are convinced that we are Patriots West. Yours truly included, because we've been picking up so many Patriots players. But even with Mac Jones as the Patriots quarterback, the Patriots main dude at the helm, I still don't think that they have the firepower to be able to handle this team. And they will also suffer defeat to this Las Vegas Raiders team. I think we beat the Patriots. I think we have their number. I don't think that they're the same team. I don't foresee us losing to them. And even though we do have the wide receiver who literally gave us the game last time we played him, I don't think that Josh McDaniels, even with as dumb as I think he is, I don't think he lets Jakobi Meyers give away that game. And I think we come away with the W in week 6. Which now we move on to the Chicago Bears. But, hey, man, I'm sorry that you got to go, bro. But, hey, I appreciate you showing up, dog. Thank you for being here, man. But then we move on to the Chicago Bears. So we got the Chicago Bears, and I believe that is, are we playing away in that game, Nation? Do you know? Now, we're getting, toward the middle part of the schedule, which means we're getting closer to winter. Now, I do believe that we're playing in Chicago. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a damn good point. I'm going to get into that as well. But, because we don't know who's going to be in our backfield, whether, because Josh Jacobs is not, he's not attending OTAs. He's not anywhere near the team right now while the franchise tag's been placed on him, and he will not sign his tender. So he's not showing up, and we don't know exactly how that's going to go. But anyway, we move on to the Bears. I still think that we're riding on, we're riding on a 2-game win streak at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we are going to end up winning this next game as well, because I don't think the Bears did enough in the draft. I don't think the Bears have enough to be able to handle our offense at this point in time. But there also could be a point in time where, hey, we might even see a new starting quarterback for the Raiders at this point of the season, because this is where I'm predicting that Jimmy Garoppolo is more than likely going to go down with a season-ending injury. Now, even though we get the W, I say that even with this W, now moving on to the Detroit Lions, who have been a very hot team as of the last couple of years. All right. They also picked up the quarterback that I wanted in Hendon Hooker. And I do think that they have a much better team built than what our Las Vegas Raiders have built even through this draft. Now, in my prediction, Jimmy Garoppolo goes down roughly around week 7. Hate me if you want on that, Raider Nation, but that guy has not proven to me that ever since he moved from the New England Patriots and became a starting quarterback elsewhere in the league, this man has not stayed healthy any time after he became a starter. So I predict that he goes down week 7. How he goes down is, anybody's guess. But to me, he's probably going to be hurt by week 7. And then we're going to go up against a Detroit Lions team, a pumped Detroit Lions team, who had an awesome draft. They killed it, man. They killed it, the draft. You know what I mean? And I think we suffer an L to the Detroit Lions. Now, with our starting quarterback going down, I do foresee Brian Hoyer at least starting one game, or at least finishing out probably toward the end of week 7, going into week 8, probably going into week 8 before we give Aiden O'Connell a chance at the starting position And then here is pretty much Aiden O'Connell's stint with the starting offense and starting to learn, to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And Raider Nation, I hate to say it, but even with this being a New York Giants team who really doesn't have much to offer, we're going to beat them. It'll be Aiden O'Connell's first win. But then I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to start going up against a lot of powerhouse teams. A Jets team who just acquired Aaron Rodgers, and then Mr. Lazard as well from Green Bay. And they have been doing everything they possibly can to make themselves relevant in that AFC East over there. And I think that they will be too high-powered for us to deal with. And then the Dolphins, of course, if Tui or Tagovailoa or whatever the fuck his name is healthy. And then, of course, against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, we're going to drop 3 L's in a row. Losing to the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs. Because I believe that the wind will be out of our sails at this point. And remember, even when Derek Carr became the starter of this team, okay, he had to suffer quite a few losses before he started to get it. And I think this will be a very good learning curve for Aiden O'Connell coming in as the starting quarterback, because we all know Brian Hoyer is not going to start. With him being a 17-year veteran, he's going to come in and he's going to bomb profusely, just like he's done anywhere else that he has been, to where Aiden O'Connell will more than likely end up coming in and playing for this team. And he's going to learn from these 3 games where he suffers L's from before we go into the bye week. So Raider Nation, sitting at it right now, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are 6-6 into the bye week. Okay, so that is my prediction so far. And after the bye week, we move on to Minnesota, who has also been a very hot team as of the last couple years. They've had our number each time that we've played them in the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, I remember hanging out with Raider Homer down doing a podcast with him that actually never got on the air. And we were doing it from a strip club, as a matter of fact. And we were dominated. Like, by the 3rd quarter, I believe I left. I was so pissed. I left the strip club and just literally drove home from Austin. It was one of the worst experiences that I really ever experienced going out in public, because I literally think that we didn't even score our first touchdown until the 3rd quarter. And honestly, I still think that they have our number, because we're going to suffer a loss to the Minnesota Vikings as well, dropping to 6-7 on the year. And I just believe that even with us playing at home that game, they're going to, and coming off the bye week, we're still going to suffer an L against the Vikings. Now that moves on to the Chargers. Now I believe that we're going to have such a bad taste in our mouths from this 4-game losing skid and also going through the bye week that we are going to bounce back. And also, I do believe that the Chargers will be Chargers. They will always figure out a way to be able to choke it toward the end of the season. And I think that, by God, they're going to choke again, and we're going to catch a W against the Chargers the 2nd time around in this season. Which brings us back to the Kansas City Chiefs. And it looks like that is an away game. We are going to be playing them in Kansas City, which means that the weather is going to be in their favor. Definitely not in our favor, especially now that we've got pretty much a rookie quarterback at the helm playing in very cold temperatures at Arrowhead Stadium. And I still think that we don't have it. We're not going to have the Chiefs' numbers. we're not going to be able to stop Travis Kelce, and we're going to suffer an L Week 16 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now that brings us to being what, 7-8 Raider Nation, I believe, or 6-8. And then we move on to the Indianapolis Colts, where I do believe that we are going to beat the Indianapolis Colts because I don't think that they've got anything really. I do believe, what quarterback did they wind up picking up? I think they're going to be starting a rookie quarterback in, I believe, was it Anthony Richardson? So we'll see if, I still think that we'll be able to beat the Colts, even with Anthony Richardson as quarterback, but really that game is a toss-up. There's really no telling. You know what I'm saying? There's really no telling on how that game's going to go, but I think that we will have enough to be able to win that game as well, going into Week 18 against the Denver Broncos for the second time this year. And I think we're going to lose that game, bringing our overall nation to 7-10 for the 2023 season, missing the playoffs again this year, probably finishing third, or about third in the division. Now that's a lot better than what I gave us in the predictions before when we picked up Jimmy Garoppolo. I was saying 5-12 at best, but as I looked at the schedule and everything panned out, I would say that this is probably, maybe not worst case scenario, but definitely not best case scenario, because there are some games in here that I did not give us that we could still possibly win, including games like, sweeping the Chargers, going 2-0 versus the Chargers this, in the 2023 season. I can see us possibly doing that just because of the way these Raiders play, man, against that Chargers team. They normally play real well, but let's be honest, though, we've got a lot of new faces on this team. And, on whether they're going to bring the Raider mentality with them is yet to be foreseen. So there's also other things I would like to talk about. And I do, man. I want to shout out everybody who's been here. I know there hasn't been very many of y'all in the chat at once, but everybody who has showed up and everybody who has commented, I'm going to get y'all in here for this drawing for these new Raider coins and these glasses I'm getting made, and also these patches, man. I just need you guys to hit me up on Instagram if you have not already. You know what I mean? Hit me up on Instagram, and I'm putting the banner right down here to where you guys can see it. Hit me up on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter as well. And hit me up with your credentials to where I can send you a patch if you haven't gotten one already, to where I can put your name in this hat right here. You know what I mean? For the Raider Nation Challenge coin drawings, and also the Raider logos that I've been getting made, which look like this. And then also, that background blender, man, it kind of messes everything up where you guys can't see anything. And I can't really shut it down right now because, of course, I'm running OBS through StreamYard. But, these glasses are really badass. I'm getting them made, and I'm also getting t-shirts made and things, too. Now, I still owe a pair of glasses to Brian Rodriguez, and then the black shirt is going to NorCal Raider Jesse, and the white shirt is going to John Leon. I still got to get those sent out. And yes, I'm giving those away as well, man. Yeah, and the new coins, by the way, Mr. James Furpo, I appreciate you for saying that. But yeah, everybody's going to want these new coins because they look absolutely sick, dude. And it's got Al Davis all over it, dude. And it's just, that is definitely going to be a coin that I definitely keep for myself. And I'm getting quite a few of them. So, and I'm going to definitely be giving away at least 2 to 3 of those out of the batch that I'm getting. And then I'm going to give you guys information that if you don't win, I'm going to give you information on where to buy them. And you may even be able to start purchasing them from your boy also right here, the Raider Critique. Which, hey, and I'm blessed to even be able to be in the loop on able to get a big shipment of those coins. And I appreciate everybody involved who makes that happen. Like, no joke, because without me being able to give y'all the coins, man, without me being able to get the coins the way I get them, I wouldn't be able to give them to any of y'all. which, that's a blessing all on its own. But there is news that we do need to talk about because news did drop this week about the Raiders, and it's been some real juicy news. Now, not only did Henry Ruggs finally plead guilty in a court of law for the 156 mile per hour wreck that he had in Las Vegas in his car into the poor woman, Tiana Tenner, and her dog, who perished in that tragic crash. He did plead guilty, and I don't have the exact years that he pled guilty for, but he's definitely going to prison, and it's anywhere in between 3 to 11 years. That was news that dropped yesterday that was actually fully confirmed. But not only that, Raider Nation, but it's also been rumored and speculated that Tom Brady is trying to pretty much buy stock and buy ownership into the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know how anybody else feels about this. This really would complete Patriots West, if you ask me. And we all know how Mark Davis feels about Tom Brady, at least what is rumored and speculated how he feels about Tom Brady. And also, what he has said about wanting to acquire Tom Brady in the past and how much he admires Tom Brady. It really wouldn't surprise me, Raider Nation, if Tom Brady became a passive, partial owner of this team, especially with all the New England setup that we already have here. Honestly, is it a good thing? I don't know. Is it a bad thing? It doesn't sit well on my stomach, but who am I? I'm just a fan. It does, but it makes me sick to my stomach to even think about it. But Mark Davis has done everything else. He's shunned our diehard, loyal Raider Nation who's had season tickets for decades. He's shit on them. When we left Oakland, he shit on all of those Oakland fans in the last game, saying that he wasn't sorry. Didn't feel sorry for them. I mean, literally showed no emotion about leaving Oakland. So whether he's going to go out here and shit on all of us by, selling some of this team and some of the stock to Tom Brady, yeah, I could see him doing it. Because he's done shit on everybody else, and he's done shit on the diehard Raider loyal faithful already, so why wouldn't he do it? I mean, it's, to me, I've always said it, I do believe that he's always wanted to kind of replace what Al built with his own vision. And he is doing his own vision, really. You know what I mean? And this would kind of do it, but not so fast though, man. If I was Tom Brady, I would really think twice about all this, about even wanting to even get a part to be ownership of this Raiders football team, especially with what the fuck's going on right now that nobody's talking about. And because this dropped, about a week ago, where they showed footage. I've already went and watched it. I've actually got it on my saved playlist, and I'll probably drop a short about it if nobody else has seen it. But Jon Gruden has already been to court and has already spoke to a judge, and the NFL lawyers were also there who were trying to force arbitration. Well, arbitration has been denied, and the case is going to get seen in front of a U.S. court, a part of the whole actual judicial system. There will be no arbitration. The NFL will not be able to conduct or be able to overlook or foresee or say whatever proceedings may go on in said hearing of Jon Gruden versus the NFL. which also means that 630,000 suspect emails will be finally out in the open for everyone to see. Now, in those 630,000 emails, all right, we cannot obviously, as logical and sane people, sit there and think that Jon Gruden was the only one talking about some misogynistic, racist, and bigotry shit. Especially with NFL owners like Jerry Jones, the former Washington Commanders /Redskins /football team owner Dan Snyder, which is the whole reason why the emails were even brought up to begin with, to cover up what Dan Snyder's punk ass was doing over in Washington the whole goddamn time, and Jon Gruden got thrown under the bus. And this is all going to be out here and stuffed out here for the whole public to see, that Jon Gruden is going to stick it to the NFL, and he's finally going to get to be able to do it in front of a court that is going to be completely in the middle and not biased toward the NFL side of things. And this could totally flip up every single solitary thing that the NFL has got going on right now, because we all know that the NFL has been out here trying to cover up a lot of the shit that has been going on in this league that they have been covering up for years. Blacklisting motherfuckers like Colin Kaepernick, all right? Banishing people like fucking Brian Flores for his views. You know what I'm saying? Getting dudes like Jon Gruden to fucking pretty much be the basic fall guy to cover up what the fuck the Washington Commanders owner was doing for decades upon decades. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there is a lot more. A lot more. You know, and finally, hopefully, with any type of luck, Jon Gruden is going to be able to come out here and expose the NFL for what they really are, and make it all out there for public eye to see. You know what I mean? And it's very fitting, like I've said before, in many other episodes, especially going over the Jon Gruden email chronicles, it is fitting that the NFL is getting sued by a die-hard, loyal Raider. And yeah, Brady could change that. Let's not act like the NFL don't like us. Well, I don't think that they're gonna like us very much after all this goes down. They really put all of their eggs in one basket by entrusting in us that the NFL, you know, the NFL wanted the Raiders to get this new stadium in Vegas because they knew that the tickets would sell. You know what I'm saying? Just the brand itself. We're not just nationwide, man. We're worldwide. We've got chapters everywhere, in damn near every country in the world. So, Raiders are worldwide. The Raiders are a worldwide brand. So why not put them in a place like Vegas where they know that they can make a shit ton of money? And then on top of that, they really don't care because other teams' fans will show up and max out those seats anyway. But if the Raiders don't start winning soon, and the Raiders don't start doing what they need to do, man, Mark Davis is going to wind up being on the hook for all that money that he had to borrow from the NFL to get that stadium built in Las Vegas. I think it's roughly around $500 million. You know what I mean? So let me flop on over here to the full cam, because, you know, I'm done talking about those. But I want to, thank you everybody for showing up, dude. And I see a couple new guys in here, man. I want to go ahead and mingle in with a lot of y'all. I want to salute, and shout out the whole chat, man. Jack Kenna, Alex Martin, thanks for being here. Gord Peterson. Let's see, who else? Raider Pena. I see you in here too, bro. And I'm going to scroll on down and I'm going to get the rest of y'all in here. James Furpo. Thank you guys for all showing up. OG, man, good to see you. And then I saw some new faces in here. Raider Brandon, it's good to see you, bro. I haven't seen you in a bit. Art White, salute, brother. thank you for being here. And Wayne Kerr, hey, I've never seen you before, bro, but I'm glad that you're here, man. Thank you all for showing up for this off-season episode, the schedule prediction right here on the Raider Critique, where we tell the truth with intensity, even though most of this episode was speculation, and we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid. And I mean, you're probably right, dude. Brady does change that. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it changes it enough to where John Gruden doesn't want to try to get in here, because look, if everything goes down the way I think that it's going to go down, and I mean, call it speculation or not, but the way I think it's going to go down, everybody, is that if the NFL does get exposed with a lot of this, they're going to have no choice but to make a lot of major moves. There could be a lot of owners having to sell their rights to the team if those 630,000 emails get exposed. Because, dude, with dudes like Irsay, you know what I mean, Jerry Jones, you know what I mean, not to mention, like, just even like over the Colin Kaepernick shit that was going on throughout the league. I mean, they got John Gruden for all that too. I could see a lot of these owners being removed, and dudes like Tom Brady 12 ending up becoming full owner. You see what I'm saying? Or even John Gruden being able to come back and be a full owner. You know, and that's a possibility, Raider Nation. It's a possibility that the whole face of the NFL may have to change because of what gets exposed throughout this case. And regardless, now the NFL is not going to be able to shove it up underneath the rug. You see what I'm saying? So that's yet to be foreseen. But this case is moving forward, and we do know that even though that there has been no arbitration granted, the NFL is going to try to file for an appeal. And if they do file for an appeal, you know, we'll see what judge is going to actually grant the NFL an appeal when they already know, dude, they were already up underneath Supreme Court investigations over the Washington Commanders' misogynistic acts toward their cheerleaders. There's no way that they're going to give the NFL arbitration to this. So I think that they're going to lose the appeal as well. You know what I mean? What's going on, Raiders 07, man? Thanks for showing up, bro. Raphael, man, salute to you. Thank you. But anyway, this is pretty much the end of this off-season episode. I believe this is off-season episode 14. The schedule release. So if you guys agree with the schedule release, hit the thumbs up. If not, fuck, hit the thumbs down. It doesn't matter. It helps with the algorithms. You know what I mean? Get this content out there to everybody. And please, if you wouldn't mind, share it. You know what I mean? Share it on your social media platforms. I would love to hear any rebuttals on anything. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you like what you're seeing here, if you don't like what you're seeing here, I'm real sorry. But if you do like what you're seeing here, man, and you want to see more content come out of this channel, I would really like to be able to upgrade my camera and whatever, man. And, you know, I'm not monetized, and I normally don't ask for help. But I'll tell you what, having all these kids and being newly married now, I've got a lot more responsibility on my plate. And, you know, hey, I do be spending money to give things to y'all. You know what I mean? And, you know, I've been having a hard time being able to do that, and that's why I haven't been able to produce as many shirts as I would like to do, or as many glasses as I'd like to be able to do, or even be able to send some of this shit off that I've already got made for y'all, because certain things come up, certain kids get hurt, gotta take them to the hospital, you know, things like that, emergencies, you know, issues that have been happening to where I haven't been able to send these off. But if you guys, you know, want to help out with the channel and help me be able to upgrade and make it better for all of you, you can always donate to my Cash App, which is right there. And, you know, I mean, everything that you guys donate will end up going into the channel to where I can get this memorabilia made, can I get this merch stuff done, and also get it all sent out to y'all, because I'll be honest, man, I'm not going to open up an online store, but I do want to give away shit on this channel for all of you because of all the support you guys have given me over the years. But anyway, man, I do love every single solitary one of y'all, and I appreciate all y'all for stopping in and congratulating me on my marriage and helping me pretty much make YouTube fun again. Because I'll tell you what, for many years before these last couple seasons, YouTube hasn't really been fun. It wasn't fun during the 2018 and 2019 season, and the 2020 season was a complete drag, not seeing anybody in the crowd. And you guys made that a lot more fun, man, by coming out here and supporting us Raider YouTubers. And, you know, even when I wasn't around, which I wasn't around doing YouTube, I took that year off because I really didn't have, you know, I really wasn't into it, man. I had to do other things to, like, really, you know, to win it my own life. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, there is going to be an idea of purchasing the coin from myself, but I'm going to also give you guys the direct link to the coins, like the dude who's actually getting them made and having them delivered to his home, and he gets them by the shit ton. So you're going to be able to get it from the source after I'm done giving away the next 3, because I'm going to drop his link and a way to get in contact with him after I get done dropping that, you know, after I get done giving away those 3, dude, and dropping that last episode. And that's going to be before, you know, the beginning of the season. It'll probably be like the last preseason game, because I'm not going to be scheduled to get those coins until roughly in the middle of June, at least what I've been told. So, you know, that's to be foreseen, but once I got the coins in my possession, I'll definitely let everybody know, man. So anyway, if you guys liked what you've seen here, man, don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. I'm going to get the hell on out of here. And on the next episode, man, I'm hoping to get Mikey Raider in here with me to come and talk about his YouTube career, and also to where I can pick his brain about how he feels about his predictions for this 2023 NFL season for our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. So until I go live again, man, remember, it's just like I've always said. You know what I'm saying? It's Raider Nation for life. But man, stop drinking the corporate Kool-Aid and tell the truth with intensity, man. Thanks for rocking with me.